The president turns to health care reform and warns it will cost big money. James Jordan's accused killers in court, charged with murder. And our insiders report on guard against nuclear terrorism.
This is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw. Sitting in tonight, Jane Pauley.
Good evening. Bill Clinton has a budget agreement behind him and a vacation ahead of him, but today was all about health care reform. He could hardly be tackling a more complicated, controversial, or costly issue. Getting a plan through Congress will be a real fight for the president. This time, he's likely to get some Republican support. And as NBC's Andrea Mitchell reports, he'll need it.
Hitting the road for the first time to sell health care reform, the president came to Tulsa with a call to action, but very few details about what it would cost and who would pay. Speaking to the nation's governors, Clinton warned that Americans will have to learn that they can't keep getting something for nothing.
I think every American should know that health care is not something paid for by the tooth fairy, that there is no free ride.
Republicans were still complaining that the people making the biggest sacrifices will be small business owners and the workers they may have to lay off.
Job losses and jobs placed at risk, mainly in the small business sector, range as high as 18 million under some proposals.
Weary from the budget battle and clearly frustrated with Washington, the president pleaded with Republicans to work with him on health reform.
I don't think we can do it unless we do it on a bipartisan basis. I never want to go through another 6 months where we have to get all of our votes within one party. And surely we can do it without the kind of rhetoric and air-filling bull that we hear so often in the nation's capital.
But while Clinton was calling for bipartisanship, his top health care advisor, Ira Magaziner, somehow managed to hold briefings for Democratic governors, leaving Republicans in the cold.
Wasn't that a strong signal to the Republicans that they don't want them involved?
No, I don't think so at all. If the president wants bipartisanship, let's start from the beginning. Don't start halfway up in the air and say, now, everybody can jump on board, jump on board.
One of the biggest fights ahead, as protesters let Clinton know today, whether to cover abortions.
Clinton is already willing to compromise. A senior official told NBC News that he will not jeopardize his health care plan by fighting for abortion coverage. He'll propose it, but won't go to the mat to stop Congress from killing it. Andrea Mitchell, NBC News with the president in Tulsa. The Clinton plan to reform health care will affect almost everyone in this country. Among those watching most closely are employers, and the vast majority of them are small business owners who will be feeling the impact of reform right in the pocketbook. NBC's Robert Hager has details.
Small business issues are emerging among the most contentious of the health care debate. Take Sal Rizzolato's gas station in New Jersey, where 11 of his part-time employees are without insurance. He says he can't afford it. Or Greg Show's electrical contracting business in California, where 20 employees are now without a company health plan. The heart of the Clinton plan would require virtually all small businesses to provide coverage. But with concessions, small businesses would be phased into the plan over 5 to 7 years, far from Clinton's campaign hopes. And premiums for employers would be limited, perhaps 3.5% of total payroll, less than for big business. But small business lobbyists such as Leslie Aubin promise a fight.
It's an unfair system because it's going to put half of the country's small business owners in jeopardy. That is, by imposing a huge new cost on them, it's going to affect the way they hire employees, the way they compensate employees, and whether or not they can expand their businesses.
But others say that with reform, small businesses should at least be charged less for coverage than what they would have to pay today. Jeffrey Kirsch represents a consumer health group.
And I think that the plan is a balanced approach to taking into account the interests of small business and taking into account the needs of an American health care system that guarantees that no one can lose their health insurance.
But financing is still murky. The administration admits that limiting premiums small businesses will pay will require $30 to $40 billion a year in government subsidy. But claims the government will have that money because it won't have to pay as much for Medicare and Medicaid once health care costs level off. The administration says the only new tax it'll propose will be one on cigarettes. But others say that won't be nearly enough. Robert Hager, NBC News, Washington.
Still ahead here on Nightly News, 2 teenagers in court today charged with killing Michael Jordan's father. While in Oklahoma, 2 boys accused of killing their own father get their day in court. And he's gone but hardly forgotten. 16 years after his death, Elvis Presley still packs them in.
2 a.m., 36 Pine Street. Apartment 4C has a backache and can't sleep. 3C overdid her afternoon workout and is paying the price. 2C had an aching back, but fortunately she also has Tylenol PM gel caps with extra strength Tylenol pain reliever, plus a gentle ingredient to help her sleep. And a good night's sleep was all she needed to make her day a whole lot brighter. Tylenol PM, so you can rest easy.
Ready? Snackwell's chocolate sandwich cookies, our newest way to cut the fat.
Unbelievable. What if I can't pick enough of these? This woman will be after me again.
Relax. Go home.
Hello, Cookie Bear. What's in the box?
Snackwell's, enjoy them all.
My doctor said I didn't need surgery for my hemorrhoids. They weren't serious, and to use Preparation H.
Preparation H, trusted by millions to often help relieve the hemorrhoidal symptoms of itching, burning, and painful irritation for hours. Trust doctor-recommended Preparation H.
Those two teenage suspects in the murder of Michael Jordan's father, James, were formally arraigned today in Lumberton, North Carolina. Security-minded police closed all roads in the vicinity of the courthouse and posted lookouts on rooftops. The latest from NBC's David Bloom.
As the two murder suspects arrived at the courthouse in Lumberton, security was extremely tight. Townspeople craned for a better view. Well, the suspected trigger man, 18-year-old Daniel Green, denied killing Michael Jordan's father. What do you have to say to Michael Jordan?
Nothing at all. I have nothing to say about didn't kill him.
But NBC News has learned that Green and 18-year-old Larry Demery have confessed to police, and that it was Green who helped investigators recover a Chicago Bulls championship ring that James Jordan wore. The first piece of evidence that ties the suspects directly to James Jordan.
Why is the ring important? Because the ring was wearing by Mr. Jordan at the time. That they took the ring from him? Yes.
In court, Green showed no emotion. Demery fought back tears. By law, bond was automatically denied. As Judge Gary Locklear put it, this is potentially a death penalty case.
Charges murder with malice aforethought to kill and murder James Jordan.
The two teenagers are accused of shooting Jordan during a robbery attempt. Jordan had pulled his car off North Carolina's Highway 74 to take a nap. His body was dumped in a South Carolina creek. Investigators were able to trace the suspects in part because they used the cellular phone in Jordan's car to dial up phone sex services. Today, public defenders were appointed to represent both men.
I think I already got one, I think.
Demery is already under indictment for a previous armed robbery.
Court appointed a lawyer into the...
Green, who served 2 years for robbery and assault, was paroled only 2 months ago. Today, Green's mother held her son saying, "I love you. Be strong." The state will likely seek the death penalty. But today, one defense lawyer was already suggesting that his client, Larry Demery, might have a learning disability, which he hoped would rule out capital punishment. David Bloom, NBC News, Lumberton. National attention on another courtroom today, Chickasha, Oklahoma, a farm town of 1,400 people in the southwestern part of the state. 2 young boys who admit killing their father. And most folks there feel the murder was justified. More from NBC's Jim Cummins.
Herman and Drury Dutton look like a couple of kids on their way to a baseball game, but these 2 boys, 15 and 12, are killers. Last month at their mobile home in rural Oklahoma, one of the boys held a deer rifle to his father's head while he slept on the sofa. The other boy pulled the trigger. The boys told neighbors they killed Lonnie Dutton because he was sexually abusing their 10-year-old sister. 2 relatives say Lonnie, who won custody of the 4 children in a divorce settlement, raised them in an environment of guns, bullets, and intimidation.
Lonnie thought it was, good to, terrorize his kids and be mean to them because he always said, well, that'll make them tough.
But it's not their fault. Their dad would have been proud of them. That's what he taught them to do.
Everyone here is talking about the similarities between this case and one in a nearby town last summer involving 15-year-old Billy Joe Powell. She shot and killed her father while he slept, claiming he'd abused her. She was released and is on probation. In both cases, friends, neighbors, relatives, even strangers have rallied in support of the children who say they did the killing. Pink ribbons for Billy Joe in her hometown, blue ribbons for the Dutton boys in theirs. Today, they were back in court, and their supporters were outside the courthouse. The judge reduced their bail but ordered them to stand trial in juvenile court for murder. In the meantime, they will get psychiatric care in a juvenile home. Their lawyer says it will be a long time before the boys will be reunited with their family.
But you've got to have a family to reunite them with that is a safe and suitable home.
Their mother plans to keep fighting to get all of her kids back.
Sad, because I want to see my kids so bad. I want to see my kids happy. I know what they've been through, and it hurts, you know, to know that my kids have suffered so much.
Rosemary Dutton is convinced her family will be reunited eventually. Jim Cummins, NBC News, Chickasha, Oklahoma.
A bizarre kidnapping case solved in New York City today. An executive of a formal wear company was found buried alive. WNBC TV reports that Harvey Weinstein was abducted August 4th and that his family paid a $3 million ransom just this morning. Police were then tipped off to his location. 5 people have been arrested in the case. One reportedly works for Weinstein. It's not known how long he had been buried. Storms take up a big portion of the satellite weather map tonight. A hurricane watch remains in effect for all of Hawaii, downgraded from a warning. Forecasters now say the worst may be past, that Hurricane Fernanda will pass to the north, not scoring a direct hit on any of the islands. In the Caribbean, Tropical Storm Cindy has lost much of her punch, now breaking up over the Dominican Republic and Haiti, but the threat of flash floods and mudslides remains. When Nightly News continues, a modern nightmare, defending America from nuclear terrorism.
At 5 a.m., all the Millers can think about is that first get-you-going cup of coffee. That eye-opening, fill-the-kitchen aroma of Folgers Crystals. It all begins with mountain-grown beans, fresh brewed, then crystallized, for a deep, dark, rich coffee just waiting to become your welcome to the day. There's no other coffee that kicks off the Miller's morning like Folgers Crystals. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
We decided we wanted to feel more fit. That's when we started eating Wheaties.
It's a low-fat energy source, which is great.
Because there's only one kind of hill we plan on being over. We want to feel more fit. We're getting into Wheaties.
Put traction into action because Goodyear Traction is on sale now. Save on selected Goodyear Eagle Performance tires, selected Goodyear Wranglers for light trucks and vans, and save on every all-season Goodyear Aquatread. Save now at Goodyear.
To get rid of stains on your carpet, even old stains, you can get creative. Or you can get scientific with Carpet Science. Carpet Science has a unique emulsion cleaning formula that gets out old stains, like red wine, grape juice, mud, coffee, even spaghetti sauce. Getting rid of old stains? Hey, it's not rocket science. It's Carpet Science from SC Johnson Wax.
Her daughter was attacked. The police failed her. Based on a mother's story of revenge, Meredith Baxter.
She's going to be so sorry he touched my girl.
A Mother's Justice. NBC tonight.
Tomorrow morning on Today, how not to get ripped off at an auto auction.
And the music of Aaron Tippin. So join us tomorrow morning.
And see what a difference today makes.
Overseas now. In Geneva, leaders of the 3 warring factions in Bosnia are back at the peace table after a 2-week standoff. A United Nations spokesman says the 3 sides agreed in principle today to allow the UN to take over the government of Bosnia's capital, Sarajevo, once the peace agreement is reached. Sheikh Omar Abdul Rahman may be forced to leave the country in 10 days. A federal judge today refused to block a deportation order. The Sheikh's followers are accused of terrorist acts in New York City, and the Sheikh himself is in federal custody. NBC News has learned he will discuss an appeal with his lawyers tomorrow. Last February's World Trade Center bombing raised new concerns about security in this country and the fear that a nuclear device might one day be planted on American soil. The federal government has a little-known team of bomb hunters on constant alert. On our Insiders Report tonight, NBC's Ed Rabel has an exclusive look inside this elite squad.
At a shopping center like any other, 2 women stride through a parking lot, briefcases at their side. In a nearby airport, a couple does the same, wandering near baggage claim conveyors. They appear to be average, everyday businessmen and women, but their business is far from everyday. They are part of the Department of Energy's Nuclear Emergency Search Team, NEST. Their briefcases contain radiation detection equipment the U.S. government hopes would be able to locate telltale signals given off by a terrorist's improvised atomic bomb, or more likely, a bomb that disperses poisonous radioactive material.
And the consequences of his being successful and our group being unsuccessful are just terrible. And we just cannot have that happen.
How serious is the threat? Last October, it looked ominously real. At the Frankfurt train station, German police caught 5 members of an atomic mafia transporting Russian cesium-137, a deadly radioactive material.
I think the incidence of offers of cesium-137 in Europe that we've had to date are not frightening in terms of their individual acts. They're frightening as precursors, as indicators of what might come.
Okay, we have a question from the Department of Defense.
This is where the response to any nuclear terrorist threat would begin. The Department of Energy, Washington. Only a few dozen people are assigned to NEST full-time, but 800 of the department's employees are on 24-hour standby, ready for the call.
The NEST team has deployed tens of times to different nuclear threats. They've all been hoaxes. However, we've set teams composed of a few people up to several hundred to address nuclear threats.
The first call would be made to this unmarked building at Nellis Air Force Base near Las Vegas, the team's home. Within hours after a terrorist threat is validated, here's what happens. Specialized anti-terrorist teams are deployed, and up to 150 tons of support equipment, radiation detectors, satellite communications gear, and the like are rolled out here on the ramp at Nellis Air Force Base. The equipment stored in containers would be loaded on cargo planes. A small advance party would fly out. Then, at the scene, the team would quietly establish a command post. In a rural area, NEST helicopters would overfly suspected sites. In a city, rented vans would move slowly through neighborhoods, all of it done secretly, as in this training exercise. Insiders say the vans should be able to locate a bomb within a 1-mile radius.
We just verified that address is 1921 Napoleon.
Individual searchers would then deploy with briefcases, their earpieces electronically linked to detection equipment. How confident is NEST?
I'd like to assure the American people that they should not have any unjust concern for this particular type of activity.
But finding a bomb would not be easy.
Under the very best of circumstances, intelligence provided warning from the terrorists. They have an extremely tough job to do.
NEST would have to call on the FBI or Army to seize a terrorist weapon. Once they did, NEST would use exotic and expensive equipment like this robot that can operate up to 3 miles from its controllers, and a liquid abrasive cutter that the team could use to disable a bomb. Those 2 items cost taxpayers $500,000, and NEST's annual budget is $25 million.
If you'll pardon the expression, you get a lot of no bang for the buck.
Whatever the cost, say insiders, the recent wave of terrorism combined with the realization that unfriendly third world nations are known to be building the bomb should keep NEST in business for a long time. Ed Rabel, NBC News, Las Vegas.
More on this story tomorrow morning on Today, including the first interview with a woman in charge of the program. When Nightly News continues, Denver's day after the papal visit, it's a matter of debris.
If you're concerned about regularity, keep in mind, these are drugs. They come in many colors. Electric blue, shocking pink, Dayglow orange. Kellogg's All Bran is not a drug. It comes in just one color, the natural color of wheat bran fiber. We admit it's not as flashy, but a lot of regular folks find All Bran as part of a high-fiber diet. Very tasteful. A high-fiber diet and Kellogg's All Bran for drug-free regularity.
You make me feel so young. You make me feel there are songs to be sung.
Introducing Fat-Free Promise Ultra. 0 fat with just 5 delicious calories a serving.
And every time I see you grin,
It's the first fat-free margarine. Definitely one of a kind.
you make me feel so young.
Regular or new Fat-Free Promise Ultra. Get heart smart.
My bologna has a first name. It's O-S-C-A-R. My bologna has a second name. It's M-A-Y-E-R. And I love to eat it
every day. And if you ask me why, I'll say...
You could give your kids a bologna made from less than 100% pure beef or one with fillers. The question is, why would you?
'Cause Oscar Mayer has a way with B-O-L-O-G-N-A.
Oh, my back hurts and I had a game this afternoon. So I'm taking Advil. I know I'll feel better soon. More doctors recommend Advil by name to relieve backaches than any other brand. And you know, just one Advil is as effective relieving pain as 2 regular strength Tylenol. With Advil, there's no reason to let a sore back keep me from swinging. So now I can think about my game instead of my back. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
Michael's father missing. His car found stripped. His body found in a creek. Arrests are made. Anatomy of the investigation.
Don't miss Dateline NBC.
Tuesday. Pope John Paul II arrived back in Rome today, ending his 60th overseas trip. Meanwhile, back in Denver, the mess after the mass. 500,000 people can't help but leave their mark. NBC's Roger O'Neill on the big cleanup.
When the Catholic pilgrims left Denver, they left behind mountains of garbage. This is the state park where 350,000 celebrated Mass with the Pope. It was a considerably smaller group of pilgrims who were trying to rake it all up today. Of course, one man's junk is another man's treasure. Sort of.
What have you found?
2 pennies. Denver was a study in contrast today. At Mile High Stadium, the football Broncos will play tonight. Contrast that to when the Pope starred here and brought his followers to their feet. At a park near downtown, the flowers survived. That's no small feat, considering the 180,000 human feet which trampled so close to the flowers. These were the steps which yesterday carried the leader of the Roman Catholic Church to the altar.
The agreement to use the state park for the big event was that the grounds would be returned to a condition better than what they were in before this mass mess started. I think we'll have to report back to you on that.
With its city sales tax, Denver will pay all of its expenses. But in Arapahoe County outside Denver, where the Mass was held, and where truckloads of extra medical supplies were used to treat the 18,000 who suffered from minor dehydration and exhaustion, there is no sales tax. Taxpayers will have to cover what could be $1 million of red ink. While there has been some return to normalcy, the airport isn't quite there yet.
Everybody's got their luggage to get on across the street.
Officials say give us another 3 days, and the Pope and his pilgrims will just be a memory.
Bye, damn bad. Goodbye, damn bad. Goodbye.
And goodbye to you. Roger O'Neill, NBC News, Denver.
2 telecommunications giants announced a merger today. Long-distance phone leader AT&T and Macaw Cellular Communications, which dominates the wireless market, including cellular service and paging. The $12.6 billion deal must be approved by federal regulators. Continental Airlines said today it will eliminate 2,500 jobs and discontinue service in 9 cities around the world because of poor earnings. The airline lost almost $25 million since it emerged from bankruptcy last April. On Wall Street today, stocks were up in heavy trading. When we come back, the king is dead. Long live the king.
So, your international calling plan makes you choose a favorite country. But what happens if you add other countries or other people? Introducing the Most Worldwide from Sprint, the only calling plan that guarantees you savings on the 2 international numbers you call the most each month, even if they change. Once more from the top, boys.
Now get $50 free long distance with the Most Worldwide, only from Sprint. Athlete's foot grows just beneath the surface of your skin, so that's where you have to get to cure it. Mycotin penetrates the skin surface with miconazole and kills the annoying fungus right where it starts. Mycotin penetrates, Mycotin cures.
Give me one good reason to try new Serenity bladder control guards.
This new blue layer, only Serenity has it.
Pulls the wetness in quicker.
Odor protection.
Drier, fresher, that just feels cleaner.
New Dry Layer Plus from Serenity.
A
Okay, here's a real nightmare. Imagine a stove made of glass. What a greasy mess. But it's the perfect job for new Glass and Surface Windex Clear. See, some all-purpose cleaners leave a cloudy residue. New Windex Clear has a unique degreasing formula for a clean that's crystal clear. So say goodbye to cloudy residue. Now for all your surfaces. There's new Glass and Surface Windex Clear for a clean as clear as glass. From FC Johnson Wax.
A puzzle. With so many stomach remedies around, how do you know which you can take for heartburn? And for diarrhea? And for upset stomach? You take Pepto-Bismol to relieve most any common stomach problem. Heartburn, upset stomach, and diarrhea. So who needs anything else? That is a puzzle. Pepto-Bismol's the only one you need.
Now, baby Jessica, an exclusive talk with the parents who had to give her up. Their story, Tom Brokaw and Katie Couric, now premiering Wednesday on NBC.
Finally tonight, while hundreds of thousands of people made a pilgrimage to Denver this past week to see the Pope, many others embarked on a spiritual journey of a different sort. It was 16 years ago today that Elvis Presley died, and his faithful have gathered in Memphis. NBC's Bob Dotson has the story.
15,000 shuffled past Elvis Presley's grave overnight, still searching for that sacred ground where they feel his spirit lives.
He created music, as far as I'm concerned, for everyone.
This man, dead 16 years, still draws. He sold as many recordings since his death as he did when he was alive. Elvis had 170 hits. No singer has had more. The king of rock and roll has sold 1 billion records.
Memphis alone has made $50 million this week on Elvis's memory. But a lot of folks are cashing in. And Atlanta Bar swears it has the King's Throne.
His movies and books and souvenirs now bring 700,000 pilgrims to his grave each year, and that number is growing. Of course, some say he lives. Reporter Ed Klontz gets 50 to 75 sightings a month.
I hope he's alive and well and selling Cadillacs in Indiana.
Elvis was the ultimate teenage rebel, for those who still wish they were. Bob Dotson, NBC News.
That's Nightly News for this Monday night. Tom Brokaw will be back here tomorrow. I'm Jane Pauley. For all of us at NBC News, good night.